What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Stocks channel. We're in the last trading week of the month and we are still in blow off top territory. Have we seen the top or are we still going to go higher? First up, let's take a look at the S&P 500 SPY ETF. So let's crack open this chart and see what's going on in the stock market today. All right. Today SPY was down 0.37%, and last week on Friday we did push outside that upper Bollinger Band, so we were due for a little bit of a pullback as these Bollinger Bands expand. And you can see, looking at the price action, we have no failure in the price action to support the bull trend because we're still above all of the positively sloping moving averages, which includes the positive 5 EMA, which is going to be tested as soon as tomorrow. Now, to make this very simple on you, because we are in the blow off top scenario, that is the irrational market that can continue to go higher as high as it wants, which is why I did that special update over the weekend talking about what a bubble truly is, because you are going to see more and more noise and more people trying to call a top in this market. And that can be very tempting to try to call a top, and it can be very profitable if you successfully do call a top and you trade it correctly. However, it is very difficult and it's the lowest probability chance. So just compare it to going to the casino and gambling, and you're taking the lowest probability chances for the highest payouts. Obviously, eventually, if you do correctly predict something that's going to be a very major event, you can make a lot of money from it. But the problem is we've had people trying to predict these crash events all the way back since the beginning of 2023. And here we are almost in the third month of 2024, and we've only had very small pullbacks along the way. So the probability with the bull trend is that we do continue to go higher. So you will see no top calling here on this channel. We are going to let the price action tell us that we've topped, and we are going to let the price action tell us that we're losing the bull trend. So in order for us to do that right now on SPY, it's actually very simple. We need to stay bullish while we're above this breakout at 501. And then if we break down below 501, we instantly need to get risk off because we will have a much weaker trend. And in that weaker trend, we could start coming down here to fill gaps at 497, 489, and 482. So I will tell you one more time, as long as we're above 501, we have a strong bull trend and there's no reason to say that we've topped. But as soon as price action breaks down below 501, you need to assume we could have topped and you need to start managing risk very closely. That is why I tell you it is a bull trend until it's not, because if you continue to try to call a top, you are just going to continue to get stopped out, because every time the market makes new highs, we could continue a bull trend and see very sizable gains to the upside, and you can't short a bull trend for a very long amount of time. So with that little bit of overextended conditions we had last week, you could have made a very quick short trade down towards support, but now that we're approaching support, it is much safer to take those profits. And in a bull trend, we will be looking for support to hold above 501 and then push higher towards the next price target higher around 514. So we do have PCE data this week, and there is a good chance we finish the month how we have currently started the month, which is a very strong push higher. And then if we're going to see weakness, it could come next month in March, but we still have one more trading week in February and we still have a strong bull trend as long as we're above this support breakout at SPY 501. On the NASDAQ 100 triple Qs, we were down 0.05% today, and the triple Qs are trying to hold this breakout right around 437, and if they can successfully hold that breakout, we should push higher towards 442. Now, we do have a very large gap to the downside, which did open up after Nvidia blasted their earnings report, and we had that huge gap up overnight. But if we start to break down below this support zone right around 434, it will be likely that we could retrace back down towards 428 and a gap fill right around 425. So for that reason, in the triple Qs, you could get more risk off if we start to break down below 434. But while we are above 434, there is still a very good chance with this bull trend that we are pushing higher towards 442. Around 442, I think we'll see some profit taking and we could start to roll over from there, but we'll have to take it day by day and we'll have to look at the price action when we get there. This is still a powerful bull trend as long as we're above the breakout. And if we break down below 434, then we can start to get more risk off and look for more downside price targets. On the Dow Jones, we were down 0.15% today, and last week the Dow Jones closed outside the daily Bollinger Bands, and today all we really did was cool down and come back inside the Bollinger Bands around that price target at 391. Now, if we continue higher from here and we hold above 391, I do think the Dow Jones is going to start pushing higher towards 400. So we do have higher price targets and we still do have a bull trend, so we're not saying anything is topping. That's all guesswork. And the people guessing the market is topping are continuing to lose because the market continues to make new all-time highs this year. So in the Dow, you can stay bull above this breakout around 388, and if we break down below 388, we have a gap to fill at 386, and if we break down below 386, we have a very strong support zone right around 381. So there is a ton of support that the bulls can use to push higher, and as long as we can hold above 391, it is possible to push higher towards 400. On the Russell 2000 IWM ETF, we were up 0.63% today, and we did fill the gap and hit the price target at 201, but as you can tell from the arrows, I do believe we're going even higher than this, and I have us pushing higher all the way higher towards 207. So this is just as simple as staying bull above 196, and if we start breaking down below 196, get risk off because it means we could be coming back down towards 190. Above 196, we're pushing towards 203 next, and then 207 above that, and then above 207, we go to 214. On the ARKK ETF, we were up 3.45% today, and we did hold that support test at 48, and as you could tell from the arrow, I thought we would come down towards 48 and then push higher towards the gap fill above 52. And on the way there, we are going to fill a gap just above 50. Above 50, we push higher towards the gap fill above 52. And then if we break above 52, we start pushing higher towards 54.5. You could get risk off if we break down below this previous low at 47, especially if we make a lower high, because that would be a bearish rejection from a lower high into a lower low. And in that event, we'd come all the way back down towards 44. On the VIX, we're still trading down here below 14, and as you can see, the VIX is continuing to reject from this attempt to break out above 15, which is exactly what I told you to expect in a bull trend. In a bull trend, we're just going to get little bits of pullbacks and little tiny spikes in fear that aren't going to amount to any high volume selling as we just continue to go higher and crush the VIX. So as we continue to push higher this week, there's a good chance the VIX is going to come back down towards 13. And as I've continued to tell you, this is a good measurement of fear, and right now we just don't see any fear in the market while the VIX is trading this low. On Bitcoin, we're currently up 5.6%, and Bitcoin is very close to that price target at 55,000. And I do believe Bitcoin is reaching a very important top that could last for a few months as we start going into a technical correction. However, I do also suggest you stay bull while we're above this breakout at 52,000, but do consider taking some partial profits as we hit these price targets because they are very important price targets. Now, that doesn't mean we can't break them, and it doesn't mean we can't go higher because we do have a bull trend, but I will warn you that Bitcoin moves very quickly, so if it is reaching an important top, it is going to go down very fast, and it's very hard to manage risk if you're not prepared. So you can stay bull above 52,000, and I do suggest locking some partial profits up here at the price targets. And if we break through 55,000, it should be a pretty quick trip higher towards 58,000. But one more time, I do not believe this resistance will be easily broken. On Nvidia stock, we were up 0.35% today. And Nvidia is just one of those stocks, as I continue to remind the bears, you just don't want to bother shorting because it is a very bullish freight train with a very strong fundamental growth story and a lot of organic growth, which really means you need to only trade this stock with 100% of the technicals because the fundamentals are changing very rapidly and they're very hard to predict. That's why the bears continue to get this stock wrong, and that's why the bears told you it was topping way back here at 500, and here we are all the way up here at the price target I gave you at 816. So 816 was a very important price target, and we were outside the upper Bollinger Band, so there's no surprise that we're seeing some consolidation here. And I don't think Nvidia needs to go much higher. It can simply trade between 750 and 816 and just consolidate and build out a bull flag before it's ready to go higher. That's exactly what we saw back down here in the 500s. We just went sideways before the next leg higher. But if we do break down below 740, that does mean we're likely coming back down towards 703 and a gap fill just below 689. Again, none of these gaps have to fill in this stock. I talked about this before. These are fundamental growth stories, and these gaps are happening after earnings when we see how much money this company is making. So if you hear a bear tell you Nvidia has to go lower to fill a gap, you need to block out that noise because that is not true. A lot of gaps in stocks like Tesla never filled during the fundamental growth, and this stock is seeing a lot of fundamental growth, so there's a very good chance these gaps never fill. Even though it's not a guarantee they'll never fill, I do want to warn you against thinking that they have to fill. So from here, if we break 816, I think we go straight to 850, and I would stay bullish as long as we're above 740, but do keep in mind it is possible we come back down and retest 740. On Tesla stock, we were up nearly 4% today, and we did get that bull breakout and close above 197, and from here, it does look very likely that we're going to hit my price target at the top of that arrow, right around that gap fill below 207, and I actually think we're going even higher than that, but we'll play it day by day and see if we can break through that resistance first. So stay bull above this higher low right around 190, and above 190, 190, we are likely going into the 200s. And if we break below 190, we still need to hold that support at 183. On Apple stock, we were down 0.75% today, and I think Apple is very close to playing out what I have drawn here, where we would have a little bit of a pullback, and I thought we would go anywhere between 180 and 177. And then from there, I think we're going to start seeing some high volume buying all the way back up towards 187 to 190. I do think there's a good chance we even push all the way up to 195, but right now we need to be looking for that target right around 187 off of this support zone. If we break down below 177, then I'm likely wrong, and it means we're likely going down towards 167. So jumping back over to the S&P 500, like I talked about over the weekend, it is very difficult to call a top in a bull market, especially if you do believe this is a bubble. And the more people that call it a bubble, the less likely we're actually at the top of that bubble. And bubbles go parabolic and they go much higher than anybody expects. And it's very important that you understand that I said the words higher than anybody expects, which means nobody will be able to correctly predict it. Once you realize that nobody knows where the market is going to go or where the top is going to be, you start to understand why I teach you to follow the price action and manage risk around critical levels. You're playing a game of odds and you're playing a game of risk management. And if you do not understand the odds and you do not understand how to manage risk, then you are just going to continue to lose. You need to understand how to manage risk and you need to understand how to stack the odds in your favor. And it is then and only then that you are going to start seeing the profits you want to see as a trader. This is what I teach you to do, and this is what I do each and every day. And this is how we trade on the Stocks Channel Discord server. So if you want to come learn how to trade price action and you want to see how I'm trading stocks, then you need to join my Stocks Channel Discord server, which you can find out how to join in the link in the description of this video. You get all of my technical analysis and all of my daily updates, and you're really going to start understanding what it means to follow price action. I also have a service that sends you buy and sell alerts for TQQQ and SQQQ called Bank Trade Alerts, and you can find out how to join that below as well. So thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you're crushing this market, and as always, I will see you in the next episode.